Professional Wrestling.
Hello, welcome back to Feast or Fired Podcast. I am Brian with my wife Melanie. Today we are covering the August 21st, 2002 pay-per-view TNA. Action-packed show today. Very much so. So let's just get into it because that's all they did was basically get right into it. Match 1 is the first of best of 3 series that we're having tonight, with Styles versus Jarrett Lynn. This one's going to be Falls Count Anywhere. And then we start the match. We get it a little before Lynn even gets in the ring. Styles goes for a baseball slide, but Lynn catches him with his splits, pulls him out of the ring, and drops him onto the guardrail like chest first. Just a good way to get this this first match in the rivalry started. Then they fight outside the rings, brawling, fight through the fans, the bleachers. They spend a good 5 minutes outside of the ring. Eventually they do go back to the ring. A lot of this is just brawling. There's not too many too many of their more flashy moves in this particular match. They do fight up the ramp. They get on up to the stage. We see Lynn do a bulldog off the stage onto the platform one of the dancers are set up on. It's a little bit lower than the stage, but it's still up higher. So like the idea is he's dropping his face on the ledge. Eventually, we get the finish when Styles goes for the Styles Clash on the stage. Lynn, he fails. Lynn, counters him, puts him into the cradle pile driver, and gets the first. So Lynn is up 1-0 right now in best 2.
That was actually really.
With that said, though, we have at least one more match with them tonight. So let's just. We go to the back. We see that America's Most Wanted is back. Chris Harris and James Storm once again. Having a little bit of an interview, and it's more of the repeat of Harris being sick of Storm's cowboy stereotype gimmick with the fake guns and everything.
I really didn't think.
But he does. Their opponents for the night, which is Ron Harris, the twin brother of Don Harris, the lead of security, and his partner Brian Lee, they mock them. And point out to Chris that he needs to get a better partner because supposedly he's saying Storm isn't a good partner. Okay, this leads immediately into their match, which is the next one card. Do you have anything to add? I feel like I'm running.
No, I mean outside of their name.
All right, match 2, the tag team match: Ron Harris and Brian Lee versus America's Most Wanted. I know that for whatever reason, every time I see Chris Harris's face, I always think he reminds me of Chipmunk. Just the way his cheeks are slightly puffed out and his teeth show through his gap in his mouth. This is weird. Match starts. Storm is fighting with a lot of vigor, like he's got something to prove, which is actually quite nice to see. Comes playing from what was said in the little interview before, the little confrontation before. So now he's on fire now, trying to fight himself to be a good partner. But he does this really well. Takes on both Ron and Lee. We switch to Wildcat, keeps control. Ron Harris looks extremely frustrated with this.
Wait, is that's the?
Yeah, that's the security twin. We get some tandem offense from America's Most Wanted, showing that they are actually able to function as a team together and do team moves. Even throwing Storm out on top of the other 2 guys after they got thrown out of the ring. Eventually, we do get some control from Harris and Lee. They manage to put Chris Harris into danger, keeping him from getting the Storm. Eventually, though, he does get the tag. Storm runs wild. During this, for whatever reason, Lee gets knocked out of the outside. and there's just a fan who grabs him by the shoulders, and it's obviously a plant, but the guy, Lee, turns around, grabs the fan, pulls him over the railing, and starts beating him up. This distracts Ron Harris in the ring, and this gives AMW the chance to get a surprise victory over them, and still undefeated as a team.
Yeah, the one thing I will note.
Yeah, there's someone in the crowd that is just screaming. I don't know what to say about that. It happens sometimes. After the match is over, Lee and Ron do attack AMW again. So like this is the second match in a row now that they've won and then been beaten down by their opponents. You know what I mean? Because it happened with the Hot Shots too.
What happened with the Dubs?
What?
Dubs too?
Yeah, that was the Hot Shots. Chase Stevens and the other guy. Cassidy O'Reilly.
Honey, I have negative.
It doesn't really matter. I don't think they remain a team for too long because one of them becomes a member of the Naturals and the other one I think. But
I thought the Dubs took.
Oh no, that was the Hot Shots.
Okay then.
Well, I don't have to worry about that.
As far as we know.
You also know. Yeah, I also wrote here that you noticed that Ed Ferrara is just not there anymore. I don't know if he's gone permanently at this point. I know he doesn't stay around for years and years.
I mean.
So. Yeah, but our commentary team is just down to Don West and Mike Tenay. Which is fine by me. I don't think Ed Ferrara had really added that much.
I don't know. I'm really worried about Mike West.
Don West.
Whatever. I'm worried about him.
It'll be fine.
He's gonna die. He's gonna die on camera, and I know.
All right. So, no more segments really here. Just another match following this. Sonny Siaki versus Jimmy Yang, and Yang is accompanied by Jorge Estrada. So we can see which two are still together and which one's kind of on the outs of Elvis's.
I will admit, I thought that was so cute how Estrada was like doing the like he normally does, and he was like oh my gosh, what's the word? Like showing off Yang, and I loved it. It was so cute.
Siaki, not wasting any time, tries to run up the ramp and attack Yang during his entrance. Yang, not only does he miss, Yang gets a good shot in on him and still does his posing. So anyways, this is a best of 3 falls match. So this match itself goes to whoever gets the first 2 pins or submission. The first fall is basically Siaki being a complete mercy of Yang until he does a corkscrew dive and gets in there. The second fall is the complete reverse, with Siaki basically completely in control of Yang, throwing him around, roughing him up on the outside and stuff like that.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. Yang is like 10 pounds. And Egomaniac is like 110. Okay, I realize that my weight.
I mean,
Egomaniac definitely
Jimmy
has
Yang is probably like 170, 180 pounds wet, whereas in Sonny Siaki is like 2.
Okay, he definitely has some weight on him, is what I.
Oh yeah, he was a muscular dude. He's taller, but he's still a smaller high flyer compared to some of the like. They stood him next to the Johnsons. He looked almost. Not that we ever see the Johnsons again. He does hit the money clip to get his fall over Yang. With round 3 coming, it's a power versus speed match. A lot of back and forths. Yang is trying to concentrate on the legs and get some submissions in. spends quite a bit of time trying to work on Siaki's legs. But Siaki does manage to break it up, get to the stuff like that quite a few times. There is a surprise roll up from Yang that gets a very, very close 2 count that has upsetted Estrada, making him accidentally distract the ref. In this time, Yang would get another pin that would possibly have won him the match, but Siaki reverses it and grabs onto the ropes. The ref gets his attention back in the ring, goes for the 1-3, and Siaki wins the match. So, technically, I know you wrote just a sucks on your notes. I saw that. Technically speaking, the match was fine. It was a pretty good match. I'll say this. I have pretty much nothing bad to say about almost any match tonight. But that's not even really a but. Like, the way this makes absolute sense. I know Yang is the one that's been wronged, with Siaki being, egotistical and making the team all about him. But in this particular scenario, we've got 2 guys going off to be a team and 1 guy breaking away to be a single star. In a one-on-one match like this, Siaki winning is the correct decision.
I'm not denying that. It doesn't affect that.
Especially since he lost his last singles match anyway, so.
And I'm not denying that,
I know you don't like it, but there has to. Okay, part of wrestling is storytelling.
I understand. But
Okay. And in that storytelling, you do have to give people that you don't like, the heels, victories. Otherwise, they're never a threat.
I'm just saying.
It doesn't have to be a fair victory, but they have to be able to show that they can win.
And I'm not denying.
And in this particular case, he really had to win this. Otherwise, he does not have any sort of momentum going into his singles run. And we know that's coming.
And I understand that. I just don't. So.
All right.
It's just like if anyone else that I didn't. I want my people to win.
Okay, you're going to have to speak up because it's.
Okay. Is this any better?
Yeah, you're not always getting picked up.
That is so weird.
Okay. Well, no, it's just when you speak too softly.
I apparently cannot find a happy medium.
All right. This does get interrupted by Jarrett before the match, but before they even get out of the ring and stuff. He calls out is his name Bullet Bob or Bullet Bill? Because I have both written throughout my notes.
You're asking me.
I don't know.
Who literally the second match?
You know what? I'm gonna look it up real fast.
Yeah.
Bullet. Okay, it is Bob. All right, it's Bullet Bob Armstrong.
Okay, I was gonna say you're asking me, who literally has, like, my second, the second match in my notes, legitimately doesn't even have anybody's real name. It has Security Twin and Shampoo Commercial, which is whoever.
Oh yeah, I did say while we were watching that I thought Brian Lee reminded me of Heath Slater.
I don't know who that is, but
I know.
Every time I see him, I'm like, look at the shiny. You can have this hair with this shampoo.
Glorious wavy hair.
Like it's.
Well, it wasn't wavy. He has straight hair, but it was like.
It is gorgeous.
Soft and fluffy.
It is so gorgeous. So like every time I see it, I'm like.
But we're not talking about Brian Lee right now.
Sorry.
We're talking about Jeff Jarrett.
We're talking about sunglasses.
Okay. So he goes out to call out Bullet Bob Armstrong. But before we get anywhere with this, Brian Lawler comes in and attacks Jarrett again. We get into a pull-apart brawl with security, trying to keep them apart.
I remember.
Eventually, Goldilocks comes out, asks Lawler what Jarrett did. Lawler, pissed off, sends her away.
Looked like a
and then says he's going to tell us, but this is before Slash jumps him, and apparently he has been under the ring since the beginning of the show.
On the bright side, this means at the end of last week, when you're like, oh, I guess he died for sunglasses.
Oh, no, I know he didn't actually die, but like...
Now we know.
It looks
Not
like
dead.
someone could have. It looks like he could have been dead the way that show ended.
Well,
Anyways, Brian Lawler versus Slash is our next match. This is the worst match of the night by far. It's not even that bad. It just happens to be the worst match. I don't know what the stipulations are. I don't know what this was supposed to be. If it was a regular match, there should have been disqualifications and countouts, and it just, I don't know. The bell rang. He's beating up Lawler outside the ring, chokes him with cords. He pulls back mats. Slash does get dropped onto the exposed concrete. Lawler goes to get a chair from the audience. The same kid that didn't let his chair go last week is preventing the chairs being taken this week.
I want to know if that's a plan or not. Or if that
I don't think so. I think it's literally just a fan being a dick.
I would do that too. Be like, no, my chair. Back up, bitch.
I noted during this match, like, Lawler makes the most cartoonish expressions, which makes him impossible to take him completely seriously.
I didn't realize.
I don't know. He's got such like, his face is so much character, but at the same time, it's got character in a way that makes him good for, like, children's shows, not wrestling. Unfortunately, he would have been okay. He would have been great as, like, he would have been great on a live action show like Lazy Town.
Oh,
honestly, because he's got such an expressive face, but it's goofy. A lot of his expressions are goofy, so he doesn't look. It's hard to take him seriously, but that would work so well for a live action show, for live action children's show. That's what I'm saying. At some point they trade low blows. I'm just like, so there's no rules in this match as far as I know. Lawler hits his hot hip hop drop, which they've renamed to the Tennessee Jam, and wins. Anything to add?
I literally have a sentence for this match, which is fourth match: Slasher versus Sean Austin lookalike. Sean Austin lookalike wins.
Okay.
Like, there was nothing to note.
All right. We get one quick back segment with Bullet Bob and Jarrett yelling at each other before we go on to an X Division title match. And this is a 4-man single elimination, just like last week. And just like last week, it's Low Key versus a full team. So it's Low Key versus Amazing Red. What's his name? Joel or OL or whatever the name. Maximo and Jose Maximo.
I love how you're asking me names. I love that.
I know it's the Maximos and Amazing Red, the Spanish announce team. So,
which is only 2/3 Spanish.
They really do not follow the tags too much in this match. I noticed. It may as well have been a fatal 4-way. It was basically a free for all. There was almost no keeping track of who the legal men were.
Yeah, I remember at one point I looked at you and went, "Who the hell is the legal man?"
It didn't matter. It really did not matter. The ref was counting any fall that was any pin. So
he couldn't keep track either.
Oh yeah, with 3 high flyers and Low Key, yeah.
What are high flyers?
People who tend more towards the high risk top rope, jumping, leaping type moves, luchador style, I guess another way you could say it.
Sorry.
Start of the match actually just has Low Key fighting the 3 of them and beating all of them up. It wasn't even like, it was like the first 2 minutes of this match too, and this match was on a decent amount of time, and it was just action packed. But it took almost no time for like the loyalties to break down, with one of the Maximos going after Amazing Red. That was one point I saw we got Low Key stuck in. This is one move of note I took was Low Key got thrown into the corner face first, and he was hung up there, laying chest first in the corner, and then Red does like the Liu Kang like dance kick on his back where he kicks him like 5 times with each foot. I thought that was pretty cool because it looks like Red's just hanging in midair kicking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Afterwards, we got both the Maximos trying to take out Low Key, but for whatever reason, they're just not able to get up get the advantage over him, even 2-on-1. They do eventually get some control of the match, doing three-person moves on Red, but Red or three-person moves on Low Key, but Amazing Red uses the opportunity to also take out the Maximos. It's been mostly the Maximos versus Red and Low Key, with Red switching sides for most of this match. I'll say that.
I honestly think that I would love to see a tag team match between Loki and Red Dude versus 2 other people. I don't care who. Not the Flying Elvises.
I noticed that most of this match was the Maximos working together or being fought off as a team. At one point, one of them gets thrown to the outside, the other one's on the apron, and then Red does a head scissors takedown to throw the one Maximo out onto the other one. And then that was followed up by Amazing Red being put up into the Key Crusher, and then get the Key Crusher like set up position, but then getting thrown out onto them, and then Low Key did a dive onto them. This was a mile a minute type of match. And I lost track at this point who the Legal Men were supposed to be. The first elimination was actually Joel eliminating Jose, which was weird because they almost had not fought each other whatsoever. And even weirder, the brother stopped his brother from pinning Red before getting that pin on his. So I have no idea why that happened. Makes no sense to me. There's no story logic reason outside of possibly that's just not what the plan for the match was. I have no idea.
I mean, I think they should have played it off like it was an accident, like he tripped or something.
I don't know.
But they didn't, and I'm not right.
Red hits the infrared on Joel to eliminate him, leaving just Red and Low Key as the final 2 participants in the match.
Okay.
Yeah. Eventually, does get Low Key hits the Key Crusher, finish Red, and getting the win. Actually, it's not even just a Key Crusher. It's a Key Crusher from the top rope. He actually goes for it twice. The first time, Red fights out of it, and then he comes back up to fight Low Key and ends up getting stuck, picked up again, and then hit with the Key Crusher off the top rope. But yeah, Low Key, his second title defense, second time successful, and the second time for him versus multiple other guys. As we'll find out later, that this is going to continue to be a recurring theme.
Are you kidding?
Well, next week. We'll get to it. All right, go to the back. Goldie is with Truth. We basically get a really strong promo building up why that he deserves what he has and how he is going to prove himself to Monty Brown tonight. All right, it's Act 6 World Championship match. Ron the Truth Killings are defending champion versus Monty Brown the challenger. I wrote it here again. I swear Monty Brown's wrestling outfit is a singlet that he never has the straps up for, and the more I looked at it, the more I'm absolutely certain that's the actual situation. I don't know why he wears a singlet and not just trunks if he's not going to pull the straps up over his shoulders.
Maybe he thought about pulling it. Maybe it doesn't fit right or something. I don't know.
I'll admit he's a massive wide chest and shoulders, so I guess it's possible. I just find it weird that he even bothers wearing a singlet if he cannot wear it properly.
All I know is
it just looks weird because he's got that rolled up bunch of the singlets fabric dangling at his hips and his ass that is very obviously there and not there as a design or something. It's just bunched up fabric that's supposed to be pulled up over his shoulders. All right, starting off, Brown mocks Truth after Truth's dancing after a power lockup.
I missed that part.
I noticed he does though. Brown is using a lot of his power, and I just take note that like Monty Brown puts a lot of personality into all of his moves. Even when he goes for things like elbow drops and stuff like that, he does this little pointing maneuver. And it's just he's got that same like in-ring presence that like The Rock has. And I love it. And that's one of the reasons why I was such a huge Monty Brown fan and was so disappointed when he retired early. It wasn't due to injury or anything. It was personal stuff. He just decided, I got stuff to take care of at home, and I can't wrestle anymore. But he could have been huge, and I think he should have been, but it's just not how things work out. They fight to the outside. They get to the announce table. Brown's going to do the alpha bomb on it, but he is stopped by a rake to the eyes. They're outside longer than a 10 count, so there's apparently no count out in this match. They do eventually return to the ring. There's quite a few near falls, but most of them are Truth getting near falls on Brown. Another attempt for the alpha bomb turns into a roll up. Instead of being dropped on his back, he like takes the momentum to pull Brown down, pin him. But this just okay. Remember that head scissors with his match with Shamrock, where it just took Truth forever to fall over. Kind of had that here too, because when he goes to go down, for whatever reason, they don't get a full flip. They don't get the full flip. Instead, Brown lands in his back, and Truth just lands back first straight on Monty's chest. It was, I don't know, another weird landing. Overall, Truth is really good in the ring. I don't know why these particular maneuvers are messing him up. I wouldn't think they would. He's good enough where it shouldn't, but this just keeps happening, and I don't know why. All right,
he's 30. Give him a break, hon.
But that does give Truth the victory on that roll up, so he retains. Yeah, it was a good match. It was actually the best World Championship match so far.
Sad.
It's unfortunate that Shamrock just was not able to have good matches. Jarrett comes out now after this match, hits the ref with a chair. Truth does manage to prevent Jarrett from going wild with it, though. Lawler also comes out to attack Jarrett, and then it's basically a 3-on-1 on Jarrett. And to end this little segment, Truth has Jarrett trapped, and Lawler's got the chair, and he's going to go hit Jarrett, but Jarrett manages to duck out, and Truth eats the chair.
I really thought Eddie Gordo and Sunglasses.
Yeah, no. Truth knows that Jarrett's coming for his title, so they're not on the stage anymore.
FFness.
So far. Okay, we go to the back again. Goldilocks is with Jerry Lynn. And Lynn is talking about basically how he's a veteran, and due to that, that's the reason why he's going to win, because he has the upper hand due to his vast knowledge from years of experience. But this leads directly into the match because Styles attacks him, and this is a no DQ match, so there's no countouts or anything, and this starts off match number 2 of the 3. We also learned that if Styles gets the fall here, we will go into the third final one, which is a 10-minute Iron Man match. All right, they brawl all the way down to the ring. Lynn sets up a table. He does try to do a sunset flip from Styles onto the table, fails. Lynn knocks it over in the process of failing. Then I see Styles do a dive that he shouldn't have done. He lands between the table. He lands on the table with the legs on each side of him. But the table legs are facing completely straight up, and he does not have a lot of room there. He could have impaled himself. And that's another thing I remember from a lot of the time with Styles in here. He does things that just look absolutely fucking stupid. They look cool, but are stupid. They set up a chair in the corner. Styles gets catapulted into it. There's then a lot of back and forth fighting and flying maneuvers. There's a double clothesline spot. As they get up, they do a tug of war over the chair. Styles does end up with the chair. There's a roll-up pin, but he still holds onto the chair and uses it to knock Jerry Lynn with it. During the match, Lynn is being cocky. He actually has it won at one point, but instead of taking the fall, he pulls up Styles' arm to be cocky. So basically, he makes Styles kick out instead of getting the victory. Lynn does finally do a Frankensteiner to Styles onto the table on the outside, though Styles almost missed it. He basically landed ass first on the corner.
Which would hurt.
The far corner.
Still would hurt.
Eventually, they fight back to the ring. Styles does a Styles Clash onto a chair to get for the second match being over. Now they're 1-1. And we go directly into the 10-minute Iron Man. And with that, Styles very, very intelligently takes this chance and pins Lynn immediately once it starts. Gets a fall, pins him again, gets another fall, and now he's up 2-0. They're already selling the fact that they've gone about 20 minutes already. Yeah. So they're both moving slower. They're both, they're still doing big moves, but there's a lot more build up to it. A lot more time spent standing up and stuff like that. They're both selling the fact that they're tired.
I don't think that they're.
Styles, being intelligent, tries to use like chokeholds and stuff to run down the clock and prevent Lynn from getting any falls. Eventually, Lynn does manage to do a sort of power bomb. It's not quite a power bomb because Styles flips fully and lands flat on his chest. But that does give Lynn his first fall, so it's 2-1. Eventually, Styles does try to do a leaping move into the corner, but Lynn dodges, so he crotches himself basically on the corner. Then flips backwards off, landing on his face. Styles goes for a Razor's Edge maneuver, but it goes into a face buster. Don't know what to call that move outside of just Razor's Edge into a face buster. That's what it is. That gives him another fall, so it's 3-1 with Styles being up 2. During this portion, Loki brings out the ladder. He brings out the ladder with like 3 minutes left and sets it up on the stage and watches from afar. He doesn't get involved in the fall. Though this distraction gives Lynn a chance to reverse some maneuver into a pile driver, and he gets his second fall, so it's 3-2. Lynn tries to hit his cradle pile driver, but failing, instead put Styles into a Styles Clash. So he uses Styles' own finisher to get against him to get his third fall, making a completely tied contest. The last minute of the match is basically a bunch of trading of quick pins that end up with no falls. Time runs out, and it's a tie. So with that, Loki comes down, looks at the two guys who are absolutely spent, raises both their hands, and then kicks them both down.
Kind of but
goes and grabs a mic and basically is like, look, the X Division isn't about Jerry Lynn. It isn't about AJ Styles. It's about this belt. And since I'm the one holding this belt, you guys want to fight so bad over it, next week we're going to have a triple ladder match. I'm
going to say, Loki has such a deep voice for his look.
He's a little guy with a deep voice. I don't know what to say.
Every time, like when he talked, I'm like, oh my god, is he making his voice like?
No, I think that's actually how he sounds. I've never heard him sound differently.
Is he Milli Vanilling this? Is that?
No. But yeah.
Which is more singing than it is actually talking.
So yeah, next week that X Division title match, that is a triple ladder match. I don't know what the significance of a triple ladder match, because they can make very clear that it's 3 ladders. I don't know why. I don't know why that's different than any other ladder match. There's no rule that states a ladder match only has to have 1 ladder. You know what I mean?
You know more about this than I.
As far as I know, there's no rule that says the ladder match has to only have 1 ladder. In fact, they've made it kind of a thing to make ladder matches use ladders, because you're able to do more weird stuff with more ladders. Also, you're able to have a ladder that's able to be broken in half. And what are you doing? My wife is like got a wedgie or something. All right. But this is the last match of the night, really. But the night isn't over yet. No, there was only like 5 minutes left of the show. We do cut to the back. We got what's his name? Scott Armstrong. It's one of the referees trying to talk to Bullet Bob. Yeah.
Who is his?
Who is his dad? Though for whatever reason in my head he sounded like Stone Cold in this segment. But he's basically saying, the other one's, the ref's trying to say, Dad, you can't do this. Jarrett's been swinging a chair like it's, his best friend. Like you're gonna get hurt if you go out there.
He said it's like a baseball bat
or something like that. But still, he's basically saying, he's got a chair, man. He's been doing all this shit. You're just gonna get hurt. But he said, I have padding and all that stuff. Anyways, Jarrett comes out to the ring. Someone comes out. Supposedly it's Bullet Bob comes out in like an old wrestling outfit he used to wear that had a mask and everything. Jarrett attacks him, is very cocky about it. When he finally does go for a stroke, the guy he's fighting that's supposed to be Bullet Bob fights back and throws him out of the ring, and Jarrett's like beside himself, is looking at him like, how the hell did you do that? And at that point, the real Bullet Bob comes out, wielding a chair behind Jarrett, and he's looking back and forth like, who the hell is this guy? And the show ends. So we got yet another mystery with Jeff Jarrett, involving Jeff Jarrett, because we don't know what he did to Lawler. Now we don't know who this other mystery opponent was dressed up like Bullet Bob. But yeah, feast or fired, sweetheart. I know. Apparently you need to finish this quickly.
I don't know. I'm on the fence.
I'm gonna feast.
Yeah, I really don't know. Like, a part of me wants to say fired, but like a part of me, because there was like action and it's TNA.
This episode earned the name.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I guess I'll put a feast.
All right. Sounds so defeated. All right, double feast. See you guys again next week. I think it's the last one before the best of special, in which we're not going to talk about the show. We'll just talk about what our top 5 favorite matches were. Anyways, take care. Have a wonderful day. Like, comment, and subscribe, and keep on wrestling.
Have fun.